world's best gather here. XBL baseball starts now.
It's crushed to the moon, and we're tied.
He picks it up on the second, over to first in time for the double play that ends the inning.
That's gone.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Trying to repeat.
It's good!
And homeward to the pen! This game is over!
Oh! Crushed! Left field! Off the pole!
Domingo Bell! Deep right center field! Carrying! And it's gone! That was hit hard. Left center field. Did she do it again? To the wall!
Swung on Bell to the deep left field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam!
Champion! The AAA World Series is over! What a line shot!
I can't believe my eyes.
Season 19's AA saw its most impressive and action-packed campaign to date. Now the league's most electric and explosive offenses stand off on the battlefield to decide a new champion. Tested each and every step along the way, this AA title hopeful and his team saw their way through play-in games and round robins abound. They have proven at each stop that they are a force to be reckoned with a Unicorn of the Week award and a clutch gene hanging from their hip. Now, just one more worthy opponent stands in the way. Our other World Series combatant brings his team across the waters with a chance to be AA's first ever international champion. Flair and vibrance, paired with cerebral play and the passion for the game, brings this player and his team ever closer to what was considered a preseason shoo-in. Having ran the gauntlet through every up and down, they stand just a handful of wins away from historic hardware. BigOBrad and the Orlando Odin Owls face off with J3yEnk and the Dominican Republic's Team Enemigos. Welcome to the AA World Series!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me here this evening is Dwayne in Games 3 and 4 of the AA XBL World Series between J3yEnk and BigOBrad. Dwayne, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing quite well. I'm excited for another round of this AA World Series. I was here with Uni the other day for the first pair of games, and there was a ton of exciting action. I mean, we saw everything that XBL has to offer kind of in a nutshell. So yeah, these next upcoming games, I'm sure I'm as excited as anybody.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll try to be relatively quick out of respect to the players' time here. Got the stream going just a few minutes late, so yeah, with that being said, we'll dive right into, I guess, your little segue there. Hoot hoot, we saw games 1 and 2 going in favor of those Owls, and they really put on a show there. Game 1, they had a big inning, I'm pretty sure, able to really pull away in one of those middle innings. And then game 2 kind of came down to be a bit of a nail-biter. Of course, you were casting that, Dwayne, and you got to kind of see J3yEnk have his moment there, have a chance at the end to try to clutch up, and it just kind of wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it was everything the XBL has to offer in those games the other night. And like you said, yeah, Brad really commanded from the driver's seat that first game. Everything for his power was working. He was able to locate well. Took that into the second game, but it was a lot closer throughout. And Jay had it, like you said, had his opportunities. What it came down to was some really, really tough plays on the defensive end and, tightening some things up in what you have down there in the fundamentals. I mean, this is the type of baseball, championship baseball where the nerves get a little bit high and things get a little bit hairy.
Yeah, they can definitely get hairy, especially playoff baseball. It's kind of it's playoff baseball, right? That's the setting, that's the environment we want to see and people thrive in. It's going to be nail-biting. It's going to create anxiety, nervousness across the board, and it's just going to be how are you able to handle that behind the sticks? So clearly, BigOBrad was able to take care of business in games 1 and 2. Going to see how game 3 starts out here in just a few minutes. We can talk quickly a little bit about the hitting component for both sides. Of course, the score going in favor of the Owls naturally, but the bats from the Enemigos are going to need to heat up a little bit. I know personally when I played him in last year's Cup, I think, or last season's Cup, he pulled out the long ball quite a bit, and I believe my games happened to be coincidentally at Stade, which is his home stadium this season. So I'm interested to see if these bats can kind of pop off here for Enemigos. Anything you were kind of expecting or wanting to see more of from them?
That's really it. I mean, when Jay's on, he's a very fearsome player. He was a player that was pegged early for, a championship in the Double A. I mean, I think on that opening day stream, he was the number 2 seed in the power rankings. I mean, he ends up coming out as a number 10 here, but then makes his way to a World Series. He's kind of like over here, all over the place, like a seesaw. So like, which Jay do you get? Because if you get the right one, as far as Jay's concerned, J3, whatever you want to say, he's gonna probably mercy a couple games here. So, but like, is that gonna happen tonight? I mean, his back's gonna be against the wall. We'll see what type of baseball he has to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he did lead, not lead, but he was third overall this season in Double A home runs hit. Although his run scored per nine was a respectable 5.8, very, very solid. However, the other side with the Owls, they were at the 8.7 run scored per nine, which is kind of insane. You're averaging nearly a run per inning. So, yeah, I expect the score to kind of pop off here, especially in games 4. We know these games are going to be live again this evening, so it's pretty normal to see a slower start in game 1 of a normal set. So we'll see how that starts out in game 3. Maybe the batting cages were started a little earlier this time around for some of those guys. But the final point I wanted to just cover real quick is the fundamentals in IQ. I think speaking from the XBL level of play perspective here for both you and I, we've really seen time and time again throughout the history of the league, the players that can most consistently make the correct sort of in-game baseball IQ decisions and have the right awareness really thrive and go on to see the most success across the league. Of course, the hitting component is sort of its own thing. I wouldn't really categorize that here, but just the fundamentals of making the right decision on what base to throw to, if that's, bases loaded, 2 outs, no outs. I mean, you just got to play the little mini games, the defensive alignments. I don't know how much of that we'll see as things ravel on, but knowing how close game 2 got, I mean, those razor thin margin decisions are usually the deciding factor in these kinds of matchups.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, that's kind of the thing about Double A, and even in the Triple A. A lot of people will come from wherever and they end up in the XBL. It's a lot different than where, you were picking people out of PR who probably made a lot of those mistakes already, and you learn those the hard way. There's no really other way to learn that. So if you haven't already learned some things the hard way, fundamentally in the game of baseball, you're going to go out here and you're going to do it on a primetime game. I mean, oops, it happens, but then you're going to not forget it from that point forward. Again, we've all learned a lot of hard lessons. So if you mess up under the spotlight, it's a great way to remember never to do that again. And you're right. And that's why when you're in the XBL World Series, you see people not maybe making some of those mistakes. But in the end, it's like you said, it's the razor within margins. You want to put everything in your control as much as you can until it gets to Metalhead's hands. It's between you and them. Leave everything out, just make the right play.
Yep, make the solid play, of course. You are one of those known people nowadays as making a lot of mistakes or forcing mistakes for people with your play style and just, being super aggressive on the base paths. There's a lot to take away from that. So with that being said, let's give the players notice that they can kind of get started here. So we will have that very quick transition here, and we'll bring all the action back on your screens momentarily. Stay with us. Alrighty, folks. Game 3 coming at you. Let me just properly get the stream on our screens here. There we are. Beautiful Sakura Hills, home of the Odin Owls.
Yeah, these two exchanging pleasantries again. We saw a ton of action at Sakura in the last game. This is where Brad did all of his scoring. You know, he's got a little bit of home cooking going on. We'll see if he brings that to game 3.
Yep, interested to see how the pitching starts off here for the Owls. And interested to see, of course, the bats for the Enemigos. If they can get an early start, couple bangs early, could really shape the momentum of the series here. We see first pitch, or second pitch, ball inside, count 1-1. And of course we get Uni's favorite pitch, that slider. Now we've seen that quite a bit so far. This one sent back over the shortstop's head. It's a leadoff single here for the Enemigos. A solid start for them.
Yeah, Jay was hitting the ball pretty hard towards the end of game 2. Let's see if he's taking that into the game here to start out tonight. The one thing he didn't get was any early advantages.
This one Sky to Potter, shallow center, tracking under it, making the catch routinely. That would be the first out here of game 3 as Valdez steps in. Gonna have to keep an eye on that runner. They have great speed as well as the stealer trait to boot. Would be sure to beat out any catcher arms. This one yet again, it's back-to-back flyouts to center field.
And he got a hold of that one pretty good. You know, he puts that in the gap, you know, straightens it out to find some grass. That's the type of stuff he's looking for.
Yeah, that contact noise off the bat had the base where you kind of hope it'd go in the gap. It'd be a sure double. Unfortunately, just dead straight center field. There's that steal attempt we were expecting. Throw down to second, and they're actually thrown out. Oh my. I thought he had that 9 times out of 10. Evidently, that's the one time he gets caught.
That's a wild throw. I mean, really, really good from Brad. I got to double check the catcher's arm. Probably pretty good there. I mean, he did a really good job of just throwing out that runner.
Yeah, I'm honestly like completely surprised he was caught. I don't think that was a poorly timed steal. Plus, he had the stealer trait, you know? Like, what more should he have done there? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it must have just been a really tough jump. I mean, I try to steal a lot. So I am not successful a lot, and so I know what it's like to think you have it and then get thrown out like that. I mean, it was really tight margin.
Yeah, well done by Brad as Encarnacion gets under this one here for the first out. Bottom of the first, as the Owls got a 92 power rating for that swing. Just a little outside the zone to penalize it, but back up to the plate here now. Woody Hoover takes one way inside, had to jump out of the way as the count falls to 2-0. Ramos with the windup sends it in. It'll be ball 3. See if Hoover has the green light here. Catches the lower outside corner. Count goes to the hitters. Count 3-1. Hoover takes yet again, finding that upper inside corner this time. Expanding that zone, coming all the way back from a 3-0 count down to now a full count. Pitch on its way, sent to center field, and it's a tough hop for that center fielder. It bounces off the grass, unable to cleanly come up with it, and they have it taken a hard-earned at bat there, turned into a single.
I don't know, maybe a slide for that? That's a tough play out there in center.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
You can deal with, but
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just wondering if maybe he had a late read on it for some reason, didn't, you know, move that analog stick down in time. Doesn't seem to matter anyways, as this one's ripped into right field. Just the back-to-back singles here in the first for the Owls. Trouble could be brewing as Clockwork steps in.
yeah, dangerous part of the order here.
First pitch swinging, 97 power, and the bases have become juiced. Owls fans going crazy in the chat and in the stadium here at Sakura. Double play is in effect. Jay could get out of this here with the right pitch sequence. leads us off with the ball high. Nice off speed to catch him. To even the count here, 1-1. Fastball. BigOBrad was not expecting it, falls behind now. Swings, chases one, but runners were on the move. So they'll earn a run across the plate, grounds out to first, but Owls strike first in game 3.
That's risky. You know, a lot of times that could go wrong, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, a line out anywhere. Just getting the ball on the ground there, kind of praying for some contact. We've all been there. We've all pulled that off. But, yeah, again, he's fortunate he scored a run.
Yeah, and I mean, as you were saying, like, that ball could have carried just a couple more feet, and the second baseman could have made a play on it. So, very, very fortunate, but sometimes that's the way it plays out, is there's a 4-pitch walk issued. So, Long Claw steps up, and the bases have become juiced yet again. 2 outs here in the first inning of game 3. A good eye to take a ball inside. Have to avoid the low pitch here. This one sent back up the middle. Second baseman does not dive. Not able to come up with it. And that's going to score 2 runs. The runner advances to third as well. Great base running there from the Owls.
That is difficult play to judge, going up the middle like that. I mean, he got the out pitch. Just the swing prevailed. Really tough for Enemigos there. He just needs to find a way to get out of this right now.
Yeah, really needs to try to stop the bleeding here in the first inning. Allowing 3 across the plate and still potentially more to come. He's going to have to deal with Shadow Yu, the 8-spot hitter for the Owls, as the count goes to 2-2. Pitch on its way does not give chase. Low in the dirt. Full count, 2 outs. Runner is not cued to be on the move, but he manually stole anyways. This one skied into center. Shortstop, is under this one. Makes the play. So 3 runs across the plate on 4 hits there for the Owls here to start game 3 off.
Yeah, big 3 runs. I mean, now Jay's got to kind of calmly respond. And we saw plenty of ability to do so. But we also saw a lot of, you know, things like swinging out of the zone, getting a little bit antsy. So, again, whichever Jay shows up tonight is going to be the one that determines the fate here of the Enemigos.
Flies out to left field there after just a couple pitches. 1 away to start the second. This one did not get a piece of that on the lower outside corner. Going to see a slider up and in the zone for strike 2. Workball challenging Jay's eye low, swings, takes the bait. It's on to third, over to first for out number 2. As the Owls have been rather clean so far on the mound. And they'll need to continue to do so here to extend their series lead, already up 2-0 in the series. First pitch, low, misses the zone there. Fastball going to go back to his slider, and that just barely finds the zone of fortunate location given the red reticle that happened. This one sent to right field, Screech on his way back. He'll take care of it, almost precariously overran it. That could have been disastrous for the Owls, but it's a quick 1-2-3 inning. Side retired, and they find themselves back at the plate. To lead us off here is the starting pitcher and Roulette.
That slider in that AB, that was in the secret corner that Uni wants to talk about all the time, that he wants to know about.
The formerly
we were talking
hidden...
about that in the last cast.
Yeah, I caught wind of that. The hidden mechanic is becoming well known, it appears.
That was a misread pitch, though. It was beautiful. It was as deep in the zone as you could get. This game lets you get some crafty pitches, especially with the slider.
The leadoff base runner for the Owls here, as the starting pitcher found his way over to first. Means the lineup is turned over. This one trickles over. First baseman gets a glove on it on a tough dive. Is able to beat out the runner, but the pitcher advances safely. So runner in scoring position now. 1 away. Woody Hoover, the first pitch slayer, steps in at the dish. Takes ball 1 low in the dirt. He has relatively average hitting stats here. Ramos for Enemigos on the mound, and yet another 3-0 count. We've seen a few of these already, and another 4-pitch walk has been issued. Ramos struggling in these early innings. going to be a tall task to make it much further in this game, as there's now runners at first and second. Hedwig Potter, the 3-spot hitter, sends a first pitch ball into the glove of the left fielder. No advancement there, as that ball was hit a little too quickly and shallow for any potential advancement. So Clockwork steps in. He has 3 homers here in this playoff run. Gets one to hit. Yet again, it's going to go right to the left fielder's glove. So back-to-back flyouts will end the threat. We go now to the top of the third. Owls lead us 3-0.
The lack of accuracy is really going to be the tough thing, I think. The Jays going to be fighting against here as the game wages on, and it's really been a kind of a plague the whole series.
Yeah, he sent this ball on a high ride into the night sky, but it was not deep enough. Just got a bit too under that one to lead us off here in the third. Yeah, certainly the Enemigos pitching is becoming more and more of a factor. The accuracy, as you said, he's struggled to find the zone in a couple of bats, and especially in that first inning, it really hurt him. Gonna need to rebound a bit. I do not actually have his bullpen pulled up here, so I'm not sure what he's working with. Slider low in the zone, tantalizing. It's down the foul line. Somehow Screech came up with that to make the diving catch. Looked like he maybe got hit in the belt with the ball, the way it landed in the player model, but regardless, he finds a way to make the out. The umpire was right there. So out number 2 secured. And Amigos feel hard done, but they're going to have to move past it here as there's a quick 2-0 count. Forkball catches the lower corner. Runner still at first base here with 2 outs. Good eye from Jay, takes the slider inside. Count goes full. Runners should be on the move. They are. This one sent to right field. Waning just shy of that warning track is the right fielder to take care of out number 3. So 2 hits so far in the game for Enemigos, but no runs to show for them. We now go to the bottom of the third here for the Owls, leading us 3-0.
These tense and the accuracy is already really tanking here. Got away with a hanging breaking ball right there.
Yeah, already up now to 45 pitches. Just going to hope to have some quick at-bats here. This one's sent to center field, potentially in the gap, but Encarnacion comes up with it on a great sliding catch to secure out number 2. A web gem of a catch there in the outfield, and secured, prevented what would have been extra bases.
Yeah, it had gap written all over it. I mean, he had to lay all the way out, had to time that really well. We were talking about fundamentals in pregame. That was some good timing and just good play right there. You see a lot of people miss stuff like that.
This one, chopper hit too hard for the shortstop to get to, so it's a 2-out single. But yeah, that was a spectacular effort there by the center fielder. So for the Owls now here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. There's a runner at first with slightly below average speed, but I do believe they carry the base rounder trait. So any gapper has a chance to score all the way from first. This one hung over the plate, but it's connected on the late and foul. Right fielder was hoping to make it there in time. There's quite a lot of foul ground territory here at Sakura. But we go back now, ball low, full count with 2 outs. Runner should be on the move yet again.
Doesn't use the pre-cue, but he does go.
Ball 4 issued as that falls into the dirt, so the pitcher's batting now for the second time this game. Swings at the first pitch, 91 power meter, but it appears to be harmlessly hit into right field as Rosario comes up with it. They strand 2. We head now to the top of the fourth, still the same scoreline, 3-0 in favor of the Owls.
Two good, really good results for Enemigos. Now he needs to, think about creeping back into the game. He's got the middle part of his order again. This lefty seems a bit tough.
This one, yeah, just in on the hands. Fights it off in the direction of the shortstop for an easy out. And another factor is, the Owls pitcher, he's been relatively efficient here. Only 34th pitch now on its way, and that'll be out number 2. So he's going to likely be sub 40 pitches through 4 clean innings.
Yeah, see, he's locked in as opposed to an Amigo's pitcher being tense, but a nice rip there gives Jay a hit, and that'll help the old mojo. He might not be knocked off his horse yet, but that definitely pushes it down some.
Yeah, De La Cruz will look to follow suit as the 2-out single earns a runner on first. It is a first pitch swinging, ball blasted back up through the middle. So runners now at first and second here for Enemigos. Game-tying run stands at the dish, and Luis Feliz carries the extra power versus lefties. We see BigOBrad lining up that slider. Just feels like such a dangerous pitch because it stays in the zone for so long, but does throw it for strike 1. Count is now even. Gonna see a two-seamer in on the hand, sent deep back to center field. Potter's not able to get to it, diving and failing to come up with it. It's gonna score 2 runs, and the Enemigos have their first runs of the game. It's now 3-2.
That's a huge way to put yourself right into the ball game. Big rip, misplaced pitch. He handled it well. Now he's got his big power fastball hitter up.
Oh, his eyes got big, but was not meant to be there. It's a weak grounder to short. Still a productive inning there for the Enemigos. They'll be happy to see some runs in favor of their side. Now cutting that lead just down to 1 run.
He's got to feel a lot more confident on the back of that. Throws one right down the tube to follow it up, A little dicey if you ask me.
Would not recommend against BigOBrad or really anyone, but almost especially BigOBrad. So the leadoff single. We now see Woody Hoover in their third at bat this game. Takes a strike low in the zone. Sends this one over to the shortstop side. Flipped to second, on to first, and we get a double play for the Enemigos, their first of which this game.
That's good stuff for them, If you're Enemigos, that's, again, it's really motivating. See, now you got yourself a quick inning here. Good play by Montero. Everybody's feeling good. Now you go back and try and score.
A great turnaround inning there for the Enemigos on both sides of the ball. Score some runs, and then keep it clean on the bump. Heading now to the top of the 5th. Looking to chase down that run to tie this ball game. That's Rafi Rosario. Carries the mind gamer trait. He sends this one into center field. It sounded decent off the bat, but yet again, finding that center fielder's glove. He's been very active out there for the Owls tonight. Esteban Ramos steps in. Actually, I should have paid more attention. Is this a reliever, or is this still the same starter? I think it's the starter, right?
This is the starter, yes, still.
Okay. So there is an opportunity, you might think, for Jay to pinch hit, but he's going to give the nod to the pitcher to stay in the game. As he sends this one to center field on the left-hand side, Potter tracks back and takes care of that as well for out number 2.
Yeah, we've seen both of these pitchers already in games 1 and 2 push their starters pretty long. So don't be surprised if Jay keeps them in, especially if the scoreline remains as is. Probably 7 innings.
Have to keep an eye on that, as well as the pitch count and stamina for both pitchers. 50th pitch on its way, whistled back, nearly hitting that starting pitcher, but just able to get away from it. So it's a 2-out single now for the Enemigos, as Eliezer, one of those names, steps into the dish now here. The 2-spot hitting shortstop takes ball 1 outside, just barely missing the zone. Brad throws that slider in on the hands yet again, and it's lined into the shortstop's glove, so they will strand a runner there as the Owls return to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th.
I think that one's Eliezer. I've heard that once on another, ball player.
Yeah, it sounds way better than
Way
whatever I
back in the
said.
day. Eliezer. Might have been Eliezer Ramirez, Ramos.
Ooh, a tough hop there. A hard hit ball at the hot corner. Cannot come up with it cleanly. So, base runner at first now, as you see the LOLs come out from the players, acknowledging Metalhead's RNG-ness. This one skied into the right field area. Dealt with by Rosario. Gets it back in, one away.
Like I said in the pregame, if you're playing a clean game yourself, it's really you versus Metalhead in the field, and that's it. The game still gives you some push and pull in that direction, as we know.
Grounder hit hard, but directly at Montero. Turns the double play, so Enemigos get away with the potential error. Yeah, it looks like they did score that as an error at third base.
Another big double play, though. I mean, he's gotten 2 of them so far in the game. And, now they got the 1-run deficit. It's close.
This one ripped into left center field. That'll roll on its way to the wall. A leadoff double here for the Enemigos. That was a absolute mistake pitch from Brad. Just totally mislocated over the heart of the plate. And punished, well executed by J3yEnk and the Enemigos, as their center fielder will not be given an opportunity to see a pitch. They're intentionally walked. Runners at first and second here, nobody out. De La Cruz steps in, and we're going to see a call to the pen. It's Hooch Street coming in with Rally Stopper and Elite Four-Seamer. He says, oh yeah, you got some hitters, some boppers? Why don't you deal with some velo? 100 miles an hour.
He can deal with the triple digits is pretty tough.
Well, he saws one off into center field. That's going to tie the game. Potter misplays it. It rolls by both defenders all the way to the wall. And we have an Enemigos lead here on a bases clearing double. It's 4-3.
That's huge double. I don't know, maybe he takes a little bit of a deeper angle behind the ball there. It's tough. He kind of did that thing where waved his glove at it, but just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, we've seen that type of animation from a couple players on both sides now. That hard hit medium, I guess, hit ground ball. When the Enemigos were defending, recall the second baseman kind of half bending over and missing it. Similar looking animation there in center for the Owls. But both of which were disastrous, as we now have a lead change here. 1 out, shallow ball to left field. Hoover gets it back in quickly, so no tag play to be made for the Enemigos, trying to extend their now newfound lead here. The ghost
that was
pitch.
risky because the wild thrower he's got in left field.
Yeah, true. I didn't pay attention to the traits, but yeah, it's a great shout out. I could personally never let myself down if wild thrower lost me a game. That's why you don't see it on my roster ever, but it does give you some money back, so there is the budgetary component there for sure.
Yeah, we saw it in action, I think, in game 1, maybe. He threw the ball about 3 feet in front of himself. It was very abrupt.
It is like the best animation, trait-wise, I think.
Very funny, but not, in a World Series, not your favorite.
Yeah, gotta be the worst thing to see if it's your player, but...
We didn't see it there, but it might come up again later. You never know.
This 4-pitch at bat fouled over to the first baseman, is able to get under it, so Shadow U steps in now, known as a fastball hitter. With 1 out here, bottom of the 6th. Pressure meter is half full. Gets a pitch to hit and absolutely skulls the pitcher on the comeback. He is down and out.
Someone in chat, Delta, just said Esteban had 1 more inning left in the tank. I don't know, bud. We'll see what he does here.
He does appear to be weak and unsteady as he stands back on the bump. Manager taking his time, does end up going to the pen here as Moises Rodriguez steps in now. Yeah, as Herded says in the chat, he needs some milk.
He got carried off the field by his fellows off the bench.
Jay started to induce some fly ball, some weak contact as this game has gone on. We see another fly ball there for out number 2. Al Jolson steps in. Shortstop here for the Owls, who were hooting early in that first inning with a 3-run barn burner start. Kind of cooled their wings now here in the middle innings. They look to get something going. It's a nice 3-0 count. Seen that a few times, and another 4-pitch walk issued from J3yEnk. That's at least the third one I can think of.
Yeah, he's got to clean that up. That accuracy that's rough. This reliever's too good for that.
It does activate the rally stopper trait, which will give a slight adjustment to all pitching stats, so the accuracy is improved slightly here. But the pressure meter is, 3/4 full. This is no time to be messing around and missing pitches. Finally hits one in the zone there, making it a 2-1 count. But misses a little wildly yet again. 3-1, hitters count. Woody Hoover gets one down the pipe and misses it. He was late on that fastball. Full count here on its way. Fouled back, we'll do it again. Rodriguez steps off, keeps everybody honest. Pitch is now on its way. Misses the zone, just barely dipping below that curveball. And the bases are loaded here for Hedwig Potter. What a moment for the Owls.
This could go one way or the other. That was so close, that pitch.
Yeah, we just briefly saw the placement. Did I see that right? Was it in the zone in the bottom right corner?
It looked pretty dang close.
I guess the $20 slipped from the Owls to the home plate pays off there. This ball shot into right field, caught by Rosario, and Enemigos get out of a bases loaded jam in the 6th. They retain their lead 4-3, heading now to that top of the 7th inning.
That's massive. That's massive for Enemigos right now. You're down 2-0 in a World Series. Pressure's as high as it gets. You've walked a few people in the game. You don't want to let it all slip. You know what Brad can do already.
He thought he struck him out, too, with that curveball, right?
Yeah. Huge comeback there, and the confidence didn't get too tilted. That was really good.
So the chess match continues on as that reliever who escaped the jam now is being pinch hit for. It's Julian Espinal. The pinch.
Becky Smalls on the hill as well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention the reverse splits carried by Becky is negating the pinch perfect trait boost for this pinch hitter here. So bit of a stat battle already to begin with as this ball sent deep to center. It's going to fall just shy of that track, and Potter collects it yet again here as they've been rather active throughout the game. Montero steps in now. Carries a lot of speed, and they are the leadoff hitter in the lineup, taking a slider inside yet again. Seems to be the bread and butter pitch for the Owls, but this fastball is sent to the left center gap. That'll be extra bases. Hoover sends it back in, but a solid swing of the bat there from J3yEnk.
Less than 2 outs, he can do a lot here. Top of his order, he could really extend this if he's careful. Waits for his pitch.
Bit of a dangerous pitch there. Caught the zone, but change up low and away. Misses to even the count up here. Gonna see a cutter in a similar location as the first. Just missing, however. Brad seems to love to throw inside on a lot of these right-handed batters. Does it again, but it's fought back up the middle. Potter's going to have to make a play at the plate. Base rounder was not going to be enough speed to make it home. And I was just about to compliment the base running, but he paused briefly, and that hitter just got caught in the middle. Decided a split moment too late and gets thrown out at second, which could prove to be massive as there is another runner at third. And there's only 2 outs now, so no sac fly opportunity.
That's a tough break when you're looking for an insurance run late in the game,
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, that doesn't produce anything at all. Really tough break.
Yeah, the maybe over aggressiveness or the hesitancy really bites the enemigos there in the top of the 7th. They had some momentum and some base runners, but unable to score them. They stay stranded as the Owls get themselves out of a jam, chasing 1 run here to tie this ball game. And it's getting late, Dwayne.
Gets late early, as they say, you know. But we've seen a lot in these games, in these high pressure situations, you know. Players become legends in these moments, whether it be AA, AAA, or XBL. So we'll see who's got the stuff. You know, it's only a 2-0 series. It's a young World Series as it stands here tonight in the bottom of the 7th of Game 3.
Yeah, what's the cheesy saying? It's like pressure makes diamonds or something. Something to that effect. Gotta see who comes out at the end of it better. There's a ground ball thrown on to first. That'll bring Screech back up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the evening with a walk. Hitting in that 6th spot, carries the first pitch prayer. Has the green light on that first pitch and chops one to short. Handled easily. It's a rather quick 1-2-3 inning as the Enemigos are hoping to continue this pitching momentum and roll into a victory here as we only have 2 innings remaining.
Big part of his order here. He got walked last time with his center fielder. He wants to kind of probably let him loose.
Gets one to hit, but watches it go back to that catcher's mid for an 0-2 count. Red Reticle pitch on its way, finds the dirt. Gonna go back to that fastball up high, and a decent piece of hitting there. Actually really well done to fight it off. It was up in on the hands yet again.
Catcher number 20, Angel De La Cruz.
Got big speed. He might steal.
He does have great speed. We saw earlier in the game, and base runner for the Enemigos carried the stealer trait and also had great speed, but they were thrown out by the arm of the catcher here. See if J3yEnk is feeling aggressive. Battles back. He was down 0-2. Now a full count. De La Cruz gets a changeup to hit. Oh, it's right at the shortstop. Jolson throws it over, and this double plays. Turned successfully here.
The first baseman, number 17.
Becky Smalls.
Brad's team is built very, very well for a AA, rookie. Is something that I've noticed over the 3 games so far.
Yeah, he really didn't pigeonhole himself into any weird builds or stat allocations. It's a relatively even-keeled team. He's trying to do his best here to carry this reverse splits reliever as far as possible, throwing their 29th pitch here. It's a slider outside corner, great location, and a decent bat fights this one off into right field. That'll take care of the top of the 8th. We move on now. It's still a 4-3 scoreline. Owls are being out-hit 11-8. They're chasing that elusive 1 run to try and tie this thing up.
This guy did some damage in the first 2 games, but we see Jay making a lot less mistakes on the mound here tonight than he was previously. I mean, he's walked his fair share, but better to miss out of the zone than in some cases.
Yeah, really got to pick and choose your battles against an elite hitter in Brad. As that pitch catches the zone, takes us to a 1-2 count. And Brad fights that one back up through the middle. You can see by the animation there, solid contact, a solid reticle. That'll be a leadoff single here for the Owls, trying to get some momentum in their favor.
Number 12, Shano Yu.
8-spot hitter with respectable stats for an 8-spot hitter here. Shadow Yu. Starts off with the 2-0 count. Pressure meter is completely maxed out. Swings at one in the dirt that time. Maybe his eyes got a little too wide. But they recover. Hitters count now 3-1. Runner at first. Fastball hitter at the plate. Shadow U gets an off-speed pitch. Hit on the ground to second. Made throws it over to first. It's another double play for the Enemigos.
That's a third one, I believe, in this game. That's got to be feeling really, really good if you're him. You see somebody on first base, you're just able to erase them. Jay's going to hope that carries into the next game as well.
Yeah, a lot of clutch double play moments for the Enemigos here this game. As Perez leaves, bit of a meatball pitch there. It's away with it now. Count goes to 1-1. The pinch hitting Fats Fry. He does carry the outside pitch trade as well as clutch. And that outside pitch must have played a factor as we saw Brad chase one well outside of the zone. Takes a ball to even it up here at 2-2. One swing of the bat could change everything. Fry waits for his pitch, watches it go inside. Count has run full. Perez hit his 20-pitch threshold, 21 on the way. This one hit hard down the line. It's fair down the first base side. Does this pinch runner or pinch hitter have enough speed to get to second? They do. Cannon arm in right field activated for the first time all game, but it doesn't matter. Not able to catch down the speedy runner. So a 2-out double. Just really going to add on to the drama here in Game 3. Turning into a bit of a nail-biter between these teams here. As Brad brings in the pinch running Fenster, who has very solid speed. Could be 99, just visually. I don't have the roster pulled up in front of me, but looks like that speed meter is nearly maxed out.
Just looking to get, some sort of good contact. A single would tie the game.
Runner in scoring position at second with 2 outs here. 3-0 count. Perez finds the zone low and inside on the fastball. 5th pitch on its way. Never mind. It's a pickoff attempt. I don't expect any sort of shenanigans there. Jolson gets one deep into right center field. Encarnacion dives, but he's going to be short of the ball. This game is tied here in the 8th. It's a 2-out triple standing. Oh, he slides there, but 2-out triple for the Owls, and now the game leading run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the 8th.
Waited for his pitch. He handled that high slider well. That's a place you do not want to put that.
J3yEnk and his pitching has been on a tightrope all game long. Things are starting to waver, but he's battling back. It's a 1-2 count here. The game is still tied. Trying to strand that runner in scoring position. Slider low and away. Brad does not give chase. Count is even at 2-2. Here with 2 outs. Takes the high heat. High indeed. It's now full. Fastball inside. A great pitch, but a better eye. Earns the walk. Runners are now at the corners here. Hedwig Potter, the 3-spot hitter. Switch hitter. Looks to do some damage and become a hero for the Owls. Hits a changeup low and over the second baseman's head. That'll drive in a run and take the lead back in favor of the Owls here. Oh my, Dwayne, what a game this has been so far.
That is so clutch from Brad right there. I mean, the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs that's when you want to get it done. And he's got another shot to do more damage if that gets down. He's thinking about scoring here. Throw only went to second.
Wow, the throw was a little slow from that second baseman, so it's another run. It's an RBI single, and the runner advances to third. Runners at the corners. Insurance runs abound as the Owls continue to bring these runs in across the plate. J3yEnk searching for any answer he can find here in his bullpen. I believe he's down to his last reliever aside from the closer. expending every bullet in the chamber, finally gets a swinging strikeout on a really non-competitive pitch, but it doesn't matter as the Owls have reclaimed their lead here. It's 6-4. We go to the top of the ninth. It's 7-8-9 batting for Team Enemigos.
It's like Courtney Bat comes out of the pen. It's a closer for Brad. So he's got Big Velo and K Collector here with the slider and the two-seam, trying to close the door and get a 3-0 lead in this big World Series.
Yeah, Unicorn of the Week really steps it up in a clutch moment. Takes the lead in the bottom of the 8th, now trying to get it done on the pitching side as they get a grounder easily dealt with for out number 1 in the top of the 9th. Enemigos thought they had really kind of stabilized the series a little bit as far as the momentum goes, but turns out Brad wasn't done. And now it's Enemigos who are going to have to clutch up here with 2 outs remaining. Solid single into center field, earns a base runner here, so the tying run is at the plate. And it will be a pinch hitter, surely. Junior Ramirez carries extra power. Oh my. Brad's sequencing was really fast there, but that was a dangerous location. This one hit hard, but it's right to the shortstop. They get a glove on it, and they turn the double play. It's Owls taking Game 3 here. A victory for BigOBrad, and he extends his overall series lead 3-0.
Beautiful play here from Brad. I mean, he just he kind of let it slip in the middle of the game, but he clutched up in the end and made it happen. I think both teams played really good fundamental baseball, which was a little bit lost in the first 2 games. So it was a really competitive overall game. Jay was on a needle's edge there, I think, from winning that one. And his play was really well. So, man, I don't know. Game 4 is going to be tough. It's still kind of a coin flip, if you ask me.
Yeah, an absolute heck of a performance there from those guys. It was really back and forth there at the end of it. And yeah, Brad just had to clutch up, and he did indeed. Drove across those runs, had some solid base running moments in the fundamentals like we saw. And yeah, that's AA baseball here in the World Series, guys. Season 19, we don't mess around anymore.
Yeah, these are some serious players here that we're getting to witness. And now I think they're getting ready for Game 4, so.
Yep, Game 4. We will just briefly throw up the little intermission scene for us here, guys. Make sure everyone's ready to go. And when we are ready, we'll bring the action right back to you. Don't step away. Alrighty, folks, game 4 brings us back to Stade Royale, home of the Enemigos, fighting themselves down here in the World Series, 3-0. Need to really dig deep and find a way to get back into the series, shift some momentum in their favor here. We're going to be switching to their POV for game 4.
You can feel the energy rising here at Stade Royale.
Yeah, it's all, you know, it all comes down to this. You get to play at your home stadium, at least, you know, that's an advantage. Stade Royale is a really interesting park to have as your home stadium. We saw the short wall and right kind of play a factor in that game too. We'll have to see if it rears its ugly head in game 4 in favor or against the Enemigos.
Yeah, it really is a short porch. Very similar dimensions to Red Rock. Just the French-Canadian vibe to the stadium. Okay, leaves a curveball in the zone, but lined out to second base to start off game 4. Gonna have to keep an eye on the pitch location, as that seemed to give him a lot of trouble there in game 3.
Curveball's a little bit of a different look. We were seeing a lot of sliders in these first couple games from both players.
Center fielder, number 42, Hedwig Potter.
2 quick outs, a slider in the zone, sent deep. Does this have enough distance? It's back near the track. Encarnacion makes the catch. Didn't even need to jump, but it was at the warning track. Dangerously close, but gets away with it. Enemigos retire the side in 1-2-3 order.
Yeah, that one was hung middle in. Jay gonna want it, or excuse me, Brad gonna want it back because, you know, he only had to put it a couple more feet. Probably just missed the swing a hair on it.
Yeah, even just like 1 or 2 more power rating on the swings, probably enough to get it done. Alas, it found its way into the glove. And we go to the other side of the action now. Enemigos, 3-0 count. Did not have that green light. Swings at this one, back up through the middle. Second baseman dives, gets up and fires to first, just barely in time. Less than half a step, but the throw was good enough. That'll bring up Eliezer. 6 homers in this playoffs. That's impressive. Oh, we had one there, but he's just too early on the timing.
Couple dangerous pitches there from Brad against a hitter like this who's already proven to show some power. He flips one out into the outfield, though, for a quick out. Number 2.
Yeah, he gets bailed out by a swing at well outside the zone. Looking like me out there. 2 away. The first inning, decent contact and power, but not going to be in the gap as Potter is able to stand still and collect out number 3. So both sides go in 1-2-3 order here. Clockwork will start us off in the second. Oh no, the starter gets drilled.
That's the
Absolutely.
3rd time this happened.
Number 5.
I don't know
In 4
what.
games.
Yeah, I don't know what Jay did to have such bad luck. I don't know if it's Metalhead striking 3 times, or I don't know. Maybe he tried to put a hex on Brad and it's backfired. Either way, his pitchers have been hit by quite a few comebackers here in the World Series in the most inopportune times. As DeJesus was kind of dealing. I mean, it's still early, but they were, you know, they were getting the outs. They hadn't allowed a runner on base until that moment.
That's inside.
This one hit on the ground, though. DeJesus is still going to get out of it here, an inning-ending double play. So 2 clean innings on 1 hit total. But at the cost of his starting pitcher in game 4 with his back against the wall, facing elimination.
In the game, too. That's brutal. See how he navigates it as he goes forward. I mean, if he can get away with him for a little while, he might try to.
Yeah, I think you got to get at least through like the 4th inning, hopefully. Hopefully more, but at minimum, we saw how thin the pen became for the Enemigos, especially, you know, games 2 and 3. It was kind of, like we've said a couple times now, nail-biter endings. And so the pinch hitters come out, the relievers are yanked early, they don't get to have a long leash. And so getting that injured starter is going to prove to be probably the deciding factor here for game 4. This one hit hard to the shortstop. Runner retreats. So only one away. Still a runner at first now as Felice takes his turn at the dish.
That's high.
Brad using that changeup to good effect.
Ball that's low.
3 off-speed pitches on this pitcher, but this one's looped into the grass. It's actually going to extend both runners. The throws to the cutoff man. Oh, the over-aggressive send on the trail runner will turn into out number 2. Those are the types of decisions that can sometimes lose you ball games, as this one, first pitch, hard hit to the shortstop and just cannot cash in. I suppose you can argue that would have been a double play ball anyways. However, it's a runless inning. They do not take advantage. Score remains 0-0 now entering the third.
Ball that's outside.
But the butterfly effect of that, you know, that run being able to be in position there. Could have had, but unfortunate from Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the aggressive send in most scenarios.
Nope.
That one was a little questionable, but I was kind of actually hoping he was going to go for a diddle with the third base runner and maybe, like, I don't know, threaten to go home and then retreat real quick, you know, as we do, and then you end up at second and third safely. But it was not meant to be here. Count is at 3-1. There's a runner on first already for the Owls. This one hit in range for the second baseman as they track over to grab the ball in the air. So line out for the first out here. Runner takes off, timed up perfectly. Was over halfway to the base before the catcher caught the ball. So a successful stolen base. Now a 3-0 count. DeJesus is going to throw a curveball, loops into the zone. Encarnacion is able to overplay this one.
Oh, no.
It goes over his head. That's sure to score a run and be extra bases for the Owls. Going to make their way to third. And this is not the moment that Enemigos were hoping for.
Oh, the pitcher, no. That's brutal.
Now pitching, number 13.
Jay feeling like he has a bit of a forced hand. He's making the call to the bullpen
Ball low.
in the third after the starter was hit directly in the head.
Ball.
Lost all of their stats. Surprisingly, they were able to complete that inning and then
That's inside.
throw a few more pitches here, but unable to continue. This one hit hard to the shortstop. A great jumping play. Infield was in, but they still were able to get to that hard hit ball. That could prove to be crucial here as there's now 2 outs.
Ball outside.
Keeping this where it is right now would be massive for the Enemigos.
Nope. Inside.
Just barely missing
He's
the zone.
just missing a ton of these. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a 4-pitch walk, but you could argue half of those should have been strikes. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs. First pitch strike here from Perez.
That's outside.
Hoping to induce some sort of swing and miss or weak contact here. Trying to just kind of fish around the zone.
That down.
Brad's eye is having none of it, though. The count goes to 2-1.
Ball that's outside.
This one finds his way outside. 3-1 hitters count. Fork ball. Just barely misses the zone again. And even though he has the home stadium this game, Jay probably feels like this umpire has completely rigged this game so far.
Pitch hard.
Bases are juiced here in the third with 2 outs. Clockwork at the plate. Sends this one high into center field. Encarnacion under it. Has to take a step in, but he does make the catch. And so the bleeding and damage is stopped at just 1 run.
I mean, that's really big. 1 run's totally fine there, if you ask me. If you're the enemigos, you got to really be okay with that. Just come back and try and score one yourself, because that could have went from bad to worst in a hurry. You could have been looking at, you know, the end of your World Series hopes even earlier than maybe you even anticipated in this game 4. But right now, it's just a 1-0 ball game.
Yeah, you definitely got to take the positives as much as you can when your back's against the wall like this. You lost your starter, you're down in the series, it's an elimination game essentially, and so just going to have to dig deep into the bag and hope some luck finds its way on your side as this ball glances off the diving second baseman's glove. And that'll be a single here for the Enemigos, trying to claw back any momentum they can find. Montero steps in at the dish, turning over the batting lineup. He hits a hard hit ball to the second baseman again. Doesn't need to dive this time. An easy flip and turn double play ends the inning.
Now batting, the second baseman.
Now we get to see Brad make a few double plays. You know, he's we saw Jay make a bunch last game. Maybe he'll have Brad will have a few to his benefit in this one.
Yeah, going back for a second to the top of the third where the reliever came in. I mean, it was a great job by Jay to ultimately escape with only allowing 1 run. You can argue the more damaging effect for that inning was having to bring the reliever in and throw 15 pitches. So now he's got to go the rest of the game with a, you know, we're up to 20 now before an out is even recorded, and he's essentially down a reliever with over half the game to go. It's going to be really difficult to try to navigate that without giving up many runs.
This is the SPRP though, which is a beautiful thing in this case. You know, the seldom used, seldom relied upon SPRP, getting a good showing from Jay in this World Series. I think he's pitched in every game.
Definitely glad to have the SPRP in Super Mega 4 compared to SMB 3. As you know, back in the day, SPRP was not a position programmed into the game. We had to sort of skirt around and find our own solution to these comebacker scenarios. So yeah, the SPRP does have the best stamina energy available. They take the least amount of stamina hits compared to normal relievers, of course, but 2 walks will put the Enemigos into a dangerous situation. There is 1 out, so we've seen some inning-ending double plays from them throughout this series. Do they have another one here? Quick double steal, the throw to third. I don't know if it's a button slip or not. Paredes throws the second, actually double play! Wow!
Well, he spoke that one into existence. That's pretty wild.
The caster's curse strikes again. What is happening?
Not the one that you write up in the script, but a double play nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't have the script or any script in front of me, but yeah, thankfully this is a live game. We don't need to question my ethics of a recorded game scenario. But yeah, wow, that was, what weird timing. Well, Jay will appreciate the free double play, essentially, as he was wise to it. So now finds himself at the plate. 1 quick out,
It's
but
amazing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, it's amazing how slow the runner at second, you know, starts going at that point. They're just not even hardly moving. You can get that free tag.
Yeah, they're
on
just.
it.
I mean, he retreated and then quickly changed direction again, so I think that is a big part of it. But yeah, he was hardly even army crawling. It was just like he forgot how to walk, and he was 5 feet from the base.
Yeah, tough.
See a hard line out there. Or excuse me, there's runners at first and second now, 1 out. So double plays in effect, but De La Cruz is at the plate. Seen this batter in some clutch situations a few times. Gets one to hit, but did not cue up the timing. So it's 1 and 2. Hits this one on the ground to short. Over to second, over to first. You know how it is. It's another inning-ending double play.
Now batting the third baseman, number 12.
And what did we say? That's Brad now getting his fair share
That's a strike.
of double plays. I mean, Jay just got one as well, but, you know, Brad doesn't want to be left out. So,
Ball inside.
plenty to go around.
You know, plenty of stranded base runners this game as well. Especially for it being just a 1-0 game, as we're now on the top of the 5th. Strike finds its way there in the bottom corner of the zone to even the count at 2-2. Changeup on its way, dangerous location, but fouled down that third base side. Jay not wanting to throw a fastball to the fastball hitter, and the slider works its magic for a strikeout.
Batting the pitcher, number 4.
Works its magic indeed, too. You know, the high velo can be tricky with it. If you're able to locate it, you know, it does a lot of damage. And Uni had mentioned in the last cast that Jay, especially, is a player that really locates the slider well.
This one sounds like it's hit deep, and it looks to be fair. This ball is in fact gone. A solo shot by the Owls here in the 5th.
Big homer. Now it's all of a sudden 2-0. The lead just got doubled. Not feeling good if you're down 3-0 in the series for old enemigos. But Brad, I mean, more of that. More of that for the Owls.
The fans are coming alive here for the Owls in the away section. I hear all the hooting in the chat. And they'll continue as this ball's ripped into center. No play on it. It's a 1-out single. Owls looking to inflict more damage here in the 5th.
Number 19, Woody Hoover.
Brad takes 2 quick strikes here. SPRP trying to get back on his horse. Pitch out attempt, as there was a steal attempt on the previous pitch where it was fouled away. They had to retreat. Count is now 1-2. Swings at the slider. Slider is starting to work more and more for Jay. Continuing to locate in spots, making Brad question the zone. There's now 2 outs. Worth noting that runner at first has bad jumps, and they did attempt to steal. Interesting, must have been a hit-and-run situation as this one's hit hard. Diving first baseman unable to get to it. Rosario's cannon arm, and that will scare the runner, the lead runner, prevent them from attempting to advance. They remain at second base now here. 2 outs, runners at first and second.
Nope. Outside.
Stats are starting to dwindle on this
Very
SPRP. Feliz jumps and makes the grab. Oh, it looked like he was a hair early, but turns out it was perfectly timed. And that saves probably, maybe not a run with the, given the cannon arm in right field, but still just a great escape there from Jay and the Enemigos to get out of that one.
Anything you can do to just keep the lead where it's at, you know, barring giving up that home run, is the right thing, is the best thing you could possibly do for sure. I mean, I can't imagine the pressure of being 3-0 down in the World Series. But, you know, he's trying to do what many have thought was impossible, but was just proven to us. You know, he's trying to pull a wishbone, as they say.
Yeah, congrats and kudos, of course. Wishbone and his astronauts able to get the Season 19 trophy, engraved their name in it. It was a solid performance, and shout out to Mama Junjun, of course, as well, for having another solid season, their first World Series appearance, and probably expect to see them back sometime soon, maybe even next season. It was a great performance from both teams, and great way to cap off another solid season here in the XBL. I was at the XBL level. We're here tonight at the AA level. And it is a somewhat similar situation, of course. It's a 3-0 series lead by the Owls. They lead us here in Game 4. And we are at that halfway point, Dwayne.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit Like, this could go one way or the other for old Team Enemigos. And don't forget, too, you know, we mentioned a lot about the XBL. We mentioned a little bit about the AA. We do have the AAA that will, I think, eventually, possibly, maybe, perhaps, play some games here in the next couple days.
Yeah, it's a weird hibernation schedule, but we do have AAA action at some point. But until then, we'll continue on with our AA production as there's a nice diving play, increasing some mojo as well. That'll end the inning and snuff out any potential run comeback that inning for Enemigos. They were starting to threaten things a little bit, but they'll have to do that in the later innings now. We go to the top of the 6th here. Owls send this ball to right field. Rosario makes a nice diving play on it. That was not an easy read.
Number 10.
No, the ball was hit really hard. You have to time that well. And if you miss that, that's a triple, maybe worse.
The Screech steps in, Encarnacion slides, just unable to get to it, traps it in his glove there. A nice piece of hitting from the Owls.
So cool.
The first baseman, number 27.
Would have loved that if he had gotten the double or the catch on that. That would have been super sweet.
We're getting owl facts here in the chat. That's hilarious.
We like that.
This ball hit softly, but past the diving second baseman's glove. So back-to-back singles here for the Owls is going to threaten an increase of their lead. A Shadow U steps in. He does have RBI 0, so those hitting stats are lowered. Fastball hitter not needed on the off-speed. Rosario gets to it. Cannon arm will prevent any advancement from the runners. That'll bring Knocked Owl up to the plate, the pitcher for the Owls, who's going to stay in the game here in a high-pressure, high-leverage situation.
Saw the pitchers hit well in the first 2 games. Maybe not as much in game 3. Maybe you can do something here.
He tries to. Rosario misplays it. He went for glory. Slid past the ball. That's going to score 1, maybe 2. Cannon arm throw to the plate is cut off. And a wild throw. But it won't prove to allow any extra bases. But the pitcher doing it here in the 6th inning. Doubling the lead for the Owls yet again. It's 4-0.
Number 72.
And the pain is setting in for Enemigos right now. I think he's getting a little bit frustrated by that miss there. Who wouldn't be, you know, when you're in a situation where you want to keep the lead where it's at?
Yeah, new RP enters the game here with 2 outs. And yeah, just again, same story as earlier. Enemigos needing to just stop the bleeding as quick as possible. Keep this game within an arm's reach. This one hit hard to the second baseman. He's able to do just that. So a 2-run inning doubles that lead for the Owls, 4-0. And we have 4 innings remaining for the Enemigos to try and tie this thing up.
Number 00.
Yeah, like you said, all in an arm's reach still. He's proven to be able to score runs, but the streakiness has to stop now. It has to become pure consistency from here on out if you want a World Series at all.
It's EJ frustrated a little bit by one of those strike calls. Appears to be out of the zone. He has to foul this one away. Count remains at 1-2. Doesn't want to give up any easy outs, knowing he has so few remaining to his name. This ball is sent deep to center. It's not quite carrying enough. Does end up finding its way to Potter's glove for out number 1.
Man, he looks like he got a hold of that one too. That's tough.
Ball.
So 11 outs remain now for the Enemigos as Eliezer steps in at a 1-1 count. Rips this one to short. Jolson makes the throw and beats him by just a step for out number 2.
Left fielder, number 3.
Nope. Inside.
Check swing. Call the strike still to even the count at 1. Outside
Really
pitch,
low
Trey
curveball.
carried, but it falls below the zone there. The starter has remained in the game. This will be their 69th pitch. Hit to the right side. First baseman gets a glove on it. Gonna have to throw to the pitcher. Secures it for the out. And the end of the inning. All zeros so far for the Enemigos. Brad has found a way to shut this offense down. Only 4 hits in the game. And the Owls will look for any insurance runs they can find.
I mean, he's pitched very, very well, Brad. All series long, really. I mean, giving up a few runs here and there, but he's really shown to be able to put the ball on the corners with some efficiency. So, you know, he's getting very, very acclimated at the ego he's playing at. He's playing his best baseball right now. He looks like he's on his way to a pretty, you know, easy title as it stands right now. You know, Jay wants to prove him wrong, but, you know, it all stands to be proven. And it's all very, very impressive here from the, you know, the end if you're looking at it from the Owls' perspective.
Yeah, Brad's had just really consistent outings in this entire series. Had a solid season as well. He's looking to cap it off with some hardware. Engrave that name into the trophy. An eternal virtual glory there on the XBL website. He's 1 game away from doing just that. As he gets yet another single here, back to back. Here to lead us off in the 7th. Runners at first and second.
Good strike.
Runners on the move. It was a hit and run, double steal. Gonna see the runner rounding third. Gonna have to put the brakes on. Jay had to remind him that cannon arms still exist out there in right field, but no outs. Bases loaded here for the Owls. Pedal to the metal. This one grounded past the pitcher. It's going to score 1. Encarnacion throw on its way to the plate. The throw is tested. It's in time, but that's just the first out of the inning as there's now runners on the corners. It's a 5-0 ball game.
Aggressive send, but I like it. I mean, Brad just trying to put the foot to the throat right now and, you know, score as many as possible. I don't blame him.
Francisco, the reliever, tense for the Enemigos, kind of gets away with the changeup over the plate for strike number 2. Needs to find a bunny in the hat here. Gets a grounder to third. Should be to second. Instead, he goes to home. And we might see a diddle. The runner, the throw is not in time.
Oh, no.
The third baseman, number 12.
Tack on another run for the Owls to the dismay of the Enemigos fans out there tonight. It's 6-0. I don't know. There's not a lot of speed on that runner at second. I think he had the double play, but kind of got focused in. This ball falls to the grass. Throw to third is not in time. He drops it at third. What is happening?
Number 4.
Oh my, knocked out the pitcher. He hit a home run earlier. Did I miss that? Apparently we had a pitcher dinger. I didn't realize the solo shot was from the pitcher, who then also hit an RBI single, I think, to right field. Maybe the double on the missed dive. This guy's had an insane game. He's pitching a shutout. He's had multiple RBIs and a home run. Hits this one hard. Third baseman finally catches that one. And it's about time if you're an Enemigos fan. You are just pulling your hair out here wondering what did Metalhead need to do this for.
There's some serious inquiries to be made, you know, in the Enemigos organization, or, you know, and also to Metalhead. There's some protests to be sent out or whatever. This is just tough all around. It's tough all around. It went from bad. It skipped worse. It's terrible. It's rough right now.
Well, be that as it may, as this inning comes to a close, 3 runs cross the plate for the Owls. The Hoots are hooting. I'm getting word there's Hootie and the Blowfish performing the 7th inning stretch, which is salt in the wound for the Enemigos. This is their home stadium. I don't know how the logistics played out that way, but Brad was able to get Hootie there. And it's 7-0, Dwayne. This feels insurmountable from the Enemigos' perspective.
I do love Darius Rucker.
Well, every rally starts with getting on base, and Amigos give us a leadoff single here in the 7th.
Number 20, Angel De La Cruz.
Gonna need to have an immaculate eye at the plate and just really solid reticle placement to have any chance of getting back in this one. As it's grounded to short, it's another double play for the Owls. I've lost track of how many they've had so far this game.
It's brutal. It's brutal. You just want to get back into the game if you're Jay. I mean, it's tough when you're 7-0 down, but any runs just bolster the confidence a hair, and your base runners are getting erased each time they get on.
Oh my, 99 power, resulting in the out to deep center. You can see Jay is just shaking his head, I imagine, wondering what does he have to do to get some runs. Just not in the cards, it would seem, tonight. Foul ball takes us now to a 2-2 count here for Hedwig. They watch ball 3 low and outside the zone. This one's going to be borderline. He swings at it, grounder to third. Throw on to first. Takes care of that first out here in the 8th. Clockwork steps in. Hitting .410 in these playoffs, might I add.
It's a big hitter right there. Dangerous.
15 RBIs. Sends this one deep to left field. Valdez tracks towards the track. He just barely gets there. An unnecessary over-the-shoulder showboat catch. But that'll take us now to 2 outs. And Brad is just continuing to drive up the pitch count of these relievers. 15th pitch on its way from this one. Diving play at short. Throw to first is in time to retire the side.
Mascot race is canceled due to yesterday's taser incident.
You can see the Owls out hitting and Amigos this game. Very stark contrast. And Amigos just down to their final 6 outs to try and score 7 runs.
Radius is tense. He's got good stats to try and work with if he can get a pitch to hit.
A good eye there from Jay. Earns a walk. Gonna bring in Rafi Rosario. Relatively average, maybe below average stats, but it's just gonna have to be some small ball, I think, here from the Enemigos at this point. Watches a fastball down the pipe. 1-1. This one misses inside. Really no speed at first. On the ground, diving second baseman. Elects to go to second and does get the out, really only due to the fact that there was no speed on that runner. Otherwise, that would have been a wrong decision. But they do get the out. So 1 away here, runner at first now. Pinch hitter Junior Ramirez steps in. Gets a little extra power due to his trait. As Knocked Owl throws his 90th pitch down the pipe. But that was on top of that one, so it's just grounded, pummeled back into the dirt up the middle for another single here. Runners at first and second, and Brad doesn't want to play too many games, doesn't want to live that dangerously. He's going to bring in the rally stopper, Hoots Street.
That's inside.
Big velo with the Elite Four seam.
That's a strike.
Really tough mountain to climb here for Jay.
That's a strike.
Late on that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Good eye to watch that one miss the zone. Counts at 2-2. Montero gets a hold of this one, but it's just at that center fielder. Didn't have the power. It does advance the lead runner, but that may end up meaningless unless Eliezer can help the cause here with 2 outs in the 8th.
No, inside.
God wanted to swing at, but it Just kind of tough to track there. Count goes to 1-1. This one sent up the middle. Second baseman has to make a play. He does yet again. Gets a glove on it, but it's not in time. So Enemigos do get on the board. And the speed and heart of the batter there, able to be safe at first.
Yeah, Jay even giving that one a few LOLs. Like, he just kind of squeaked that run out.
Yep. Whoever rally was going there in the 8th is snuffed out as it's a grounder to third to end the inning. Score of 7-1. Owls looking for any insurance they can add here in the 9th.
It's really been all Brad all series. You know, he's shown really effective discipline at the plate. And he's hit the mistake pitches where it hurts, when it matters the most, and played the most fundamentally sound baseball too. I mean, you really can't knock anything that the Owls have done here in the 4 games that we've witnessed.
Yep, like we said in that pregame, just fundamentals and making the right play, the right decision. We saw some over-aggressiveness at times from the Enemigos, which I'm sure in part was due to them trying to just find a way back in the game. This one hit on a rope to second and caught. So Enemigos, bottom of the 9th here in Game 4. Down in the series 3-0. Trying to find a way in what might be one of the best potential comebacks, but it's going to take a ton of effort here, down 6. On the ground at third. Shadow U gets up and fires at the first. A great defensive play there. That'll be 1 away. De La Cruz to Shadow U yet again. The hot corner is active and he's handling it well. 2 outs now. The Owls find themselves 1 out away from winning the World Series. It's a hard hit ball. First baseman gets a glove on it. Claw's going to take it himself, and there it is, folks. Season 19 AA World Series goes to the Odin Owls. Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed, Big O, Brad, the winner of the AA World Series. That's got to feel good, man. In commanding fashion, 4 wins in a row. Jay put up a really good fight. Enemigos, well-deserved opponent. But like we were just saying, the most complete game was played by Brad. And he closes the book on a really, really awesome season 19 in the AA. Great job.
Great job. Great job indeed. Kudos to both players for streaming, for, you know, coordinating with us and schedule-wise and everything. We really do appreciate it. You know, it's not easy to do, but we appreciate you guys helping to make this happen. Of course, Dwayne, thanks to you for joining me this evening. It was a fun one. I know you just casted the first 2 games. Now you're back here to finish out the series, so definitely appreciate your efforts there. Like you already said, I'll just echo, yeah, just an amazing performance from Brad to secure that trophy. I'm sure he's going to be excited to get his name thrown up on the website in eternal virtual glory here at the XBL. Shout out to all the Hooters and all the chatters out there tonight. I'd love to see that as well. The community engagement's a huge reason as why we keep doing this, and couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, big shout out to the fans. Everybody tonight made it really fun. Really well attended for a AA World Series, I'd have to say. So great job. Really cool to see everybody out here. And yeah, congratulations again to our winner, Brad. And congratulations again to Jay for making it this far. You know, he's such a fiery, such a passionate player. You can see, like, in his play and the way he approaches the game that he just wants to go about it in a really aggressive but also the right way. And, you know, he plays a lot of ball, so I can see he tries to emulate that as well. So I think that's going to break for him in a even more positive way as he continues to grind. It just didn't happen to do so in this series. But 2 really worthy opponents for a AA showdown, and this was a really, really awesome watch.
Yep. Yeah, super entertaining. We'll be sure at some point to make sure it makes its way over to the YouTube channel, so it'll be rewatchable at any point. But yeah, just a great series there, great effort on both sides, and Brad just happened to come out on top this time. So, you know, congrats to him and his Owls, the Orlando Trophy winners here in the AA season of 19. So, fun stuff. You Yeah, I think that's all we had, Dwayne.
Yeah, we have some AAA coming up, I think, later in the week where we'll resume Spliff and Julio. So watch out for games 5 through 7 of that on the Discord. And then, yeah, the other AAA semifinal between El Roncoin and Ricks. That will be resuming sometime after July 1st, I believe, as soon as we can after July 1st. So
Yeah.
in the next couple days, keep your eyes peeled for the AAA. But that's all we got on the docket until the end of the Cup, and we bring you season 20. So yeah, season 19 is slowly wrapping up. It's been really, really exciting. Thanks for producing here tonight. It's a lot.
Yeah, of course. And as you mentioned, the Cup, just one last thing. Of course, those Cup game deadlines we're making for, I believe, Saturday. So for those of you that might have any remaining games, please make sure you get those in so we can continue moving smoothly. I think most groups were doing pretty well. I haven't seen if any scores came in tonight. I'm sure there's a few out there. So anyways, thank you guys for joining us this evening. Thanks, Dwayne, again. And kudos to Brad on his championship run here. It's been a heck of a ride. So we will see you guys in the next cast. Have yourselves a great rest of your evening.
Thanks, everyone.